But I've been trying to get Gavin to run for president for a very long time. And
are you serious? Are we living in Gavin Newsom's California? Why?
Yeah, and I'm sure your life is just a
I
nightmare.
left because of him.
A few moments later.
Newsom, Bass, they're all saying, we're going to cut red tape, as if they're doing us a favor. My question is, well, if you can do it now, why don't you always do it?
If they don't recall Karen Bass, if Gavin Newsom gets reelected somehow, and he's not recalled, California, you get what you pay for. This video is brought to you by the Officer Tatum Store, the Officer Tatum Store. You can also put in just Tatum Store to make it simple. But we got a BOGO going on, a mystery item BOGO. If you buy one mystery item, you get the other one half off. And mystery items are like, I don't know, $10 a shirt. So if you're looking for a discount, the money is funny, change a little strange, go to my website and get the mystery item selected now. Also, we also have inauguration shirts and hoodies and stuff that you can buy. Given the fact that Donald Trump is going to be elected in the next couple of days, he's going to be sworn in. We're all proud about it. This is a historical shirt that you can get that's going to last forever. I ain't say it's last forever. They'll not tell you that. The memories are going to last forever. This shirt ain't going to last forever, all right? But it's going to last long enough. All right, so get you one today. The carpets the doormats are still sold out. We're working at getting a lot of them done now. Put your name on the list. So if you click on it and you don't see it available, push notify me made available, get your name on the list. We're only going to have like 200 that we're going to be able to turn around. And therefore, you better be paying attention to the email because when they're gone until we restock them. We got a whole bunch of other new merch. This is one of my other favorite shirts, Trump Dance. I don't know if I'm going to wear this to the inauguration or not. And also, I told people about the quality of shirt. We increased the quality of the shirt, but the price is going to still stay the same for you. We got a really good deal with a company that we trust that's going to give us an opportunity to upgrade the quality of shirt. So I'm excited about that. So make sure you visit TatumStore.com, TatumStore.com. I don't see there being any way whatsoever that Democrats ever become electable again. The only thing I see if a Democrat gets closer to the middle, maybe, just maybe, people will vote or support them. But the way that the Democrats are today, the disingenuous, evil, anti-God, anti-American nature that they possess, generically speaking, as a Democrat politician, I don't know about the laymen. Some of them are just confused. But politicians, they're insanely evil. And all they want is power. They don't care about the people. They don't care about the public. They don't care about their constituency. They only want power. And they will tell you, sell you, whatever they need to do to get into positions of power. Karen Bass is up on the chopping block for recall. Hopefully she gets recalled. If they don't recall Karen Bass, if Gavin Newsom gets reelected somehow and he's not recalled, California, you get what you pay for. All right, let's talk about Bill Maher real quick because he never seems to amuse me, or I think that's the right term. I'm not shocked at his behaviors as of late. It seems like Bill Maher is open-minded and he wants to be right by being informed and not capitulating to the leftist agenda. Bill Maher is literally trying to say he's a conservative. But for some reason, Stephen A. Smith does this too. For some reason, they're just not quite ready to go full throttle conservative. Stephen A. is pretty much there. But your boy Bill Maher here, he just can't step over the landmine, but he's on his way. So on TMZ, they asked him or tried to pose some lighthearted question, not lighthearted question, some milquetoast question about what's going on in California. And I feel like he went ham on him, to be quite honest. But if you haven't seen the clip, here's the clip here. Roll it.
Karen Bass is taking a lot of heat. So is Gavin Newsom. There is going to be a recall on Karen Bass. We will see what happens. But a lot of people think she failed in terms of leadership and, you know, where budget cuts may have affected the fire department. And there are other people who are saying, how dare you even talk about that in the middle of the fire? So where do you stand?
Well, we all took a lot of heat. I'm with the people who want to hold politicians accountable. You know, we shouldn't talk about it now. It's so funny to hear that coming out of the mouths of liberals because they hate it when conservatives say that after a gun tragedy, which is what conservatives always say after a mass shooting. This is not the time to politicize it, and then it never is. It is absolutely the time to talk about it. This is what my editorial is about Friday night on the show. Was it always going to be bad? Of course. Their arguments are not wrong. We built the city in a terrible place to build a city. Global warming absolutely does make hot stuff and weather worse. The winds were ridiculous. Yeah, I get all that. And they also made a lot of errors. And if you held Bush accountable for Katrina and thought Rudy Giuliani was an idiot for putting the command center in the World Trade Center, which is the place they attacked for and were most likely to attack again, which he was, well, then you have to have some intellectual honesty and criticize your team when they don't do it right. And they've had a long time to get this righter. It was always going to be bad. All of these were always going to be bad, and they always seem to be the worst they ever possibly could be. So, no, I think we should demand better.
You know I watch your show every Friday night when you're on. And I followed your journey trying to get the necessary permits to take down a shed in your backyard over a period of, I believe, more than a year. And
no, that's what I had to build. I was trying
building
to get
the shed.
The solar. This is for your
was-
solar.
The solar.
Yeah.
trying to get the solar hooked up, which, by the way, is what the state wants you to do.
If it took you a year and going on television every week shaming the state to
Right.
build a shed for solar,
Just to get solar panels.
when you look at the red tape with the Coastal Commission, with building and safety, with all of the rigmarole you have to go through to build a house, and especially after hillsides may be compromised and whatnot, and you look at the scope of this, how optimistic are you that that could change enough so that LA can rebuild?
I always think there's a middle of the road, actual practical solution to everything. And for this, I would say, was California's uber progressive politics the cause of this fire? Of course not. Did it impede them to some degree? Absolutely. That's the margin of error. I'm saying we can't.
Hold on. I was going to let Bill go. I thought he was going to go down the right path. He started out hot. Then he fell off a little bit. This is stuff that I'm talking about. When he mentioned global warming, homeless people setting fires in residential areas is not global warming. And there's no such thing as global warming anymore because the globe is clearly not warming. Some places have experienced the coldest weather that they've ever experienced in the history of the world. Matter of fact, on the inauguration day would have been the coldest inauguration in 20 years. There's no such thing as global warming. But since we know it's no global warming after they pitched it to us time and time again, they call it climate change. The climate is going to always change. But then Bill Maher says, well, their Uber policies, did it cause the fire? It could have. If you're not proactive in cleaning the brush and forest management, right? We know that listen, God doesn't drop a piece of, God is not smoking a blunt and drop his ashes on California and set a fire. The fire is not set because the earth is too hot. People are doing things. They're throwing cigarette butts out the window. Homeless people are setting fires trying to be warm, and then they're sending the city ablaze. The only problem that's uncontainable is the winds. Therefore, when dummy that's going down the street smoking cigarettes and flicking ashes out of the thing, when that catches fire and the forest management pee poor and then the wind blows, that's when you have a catastrophe. The only thing you can judge here is the wind and say we can't control how fast the wind blows. But you can't mitigate with forest management, and you can't stop idiots doing stupid stuff knowing that region is susceptible to the wildfires. They think, oh, it could have been a homeless person. I can almost put my life on it was a homeless person. Laying under a bridge somewhere, trying to keep warm, instead of getting off their ashy elbows and going to get a job or doing whatever, they want to be up under the bridge so they can do whatever they want to do and don't follow any laws or rules. Then they trying to cook something spill over and they burn it up and they run out of it. Burn everybody's house down. They're not going to be held accountable. We're going to find out it was probably a homeless encampment where this started at. And the only reason we're going to know is because people are so frustrated with what these politicians are doing, they may actually tell the truth about getting to the bottom of this. Stop talking about climate change. I'm sick and tired of people being stupid. This earth, allegedly by the same idiots that believe in this crazy science, the earth has been around for millions of years. Billions, I think. They think it's billions. And you telling me within a 150-year period, we somehow changed the whole climate of the world. What are you talking about? I would argue that there's other factors that will change the climate and make it detrimental to humans that's outside our control. We will never be able to do what an earthquake can do. We'll never be able to do what a volcano eruption can do. We'll never be able to do if somehow the earth is rotating on its axis and move 20 inches this way. That's catastrophe. We'll never be able to do if a meteor was to hit the ocean. We'll never be able to replicate that. And I'm telling you, it's all bullcrap. I'm going to get on because I don't want to talk about climate change. I believe it's bullcrap. And there's people that spend their lives going to school and learning something, and they're not open-minded to understanding that what you learned could have possibly been wrong. There's people that get paid to teach you what people want you to know. People don't get paid to learn. They don't get paid to be an observant person with an open mind. They have an agenda to teach you that the earth is flat. Just say if that was the case, the earth is flat. They're going to have professors that come out and get paid grants and money to research how the earth is flat. Then they pitch it to you and you believe it because a professor is saying it to you and you need to get these grades to get a degree. Then now you've embodied something that may not even be true because you don't do any counter research. One, because you're a coward and you're afraid that somebody's going to say, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. I don't want to be too deep. Climate change, global warming. I'm going to shut up when I say this. Remember when it used to be global warming? Now you can't find a person. He slipped and said global warming. You can't find a person in Congress or anybody talking about this that will ever use the phrase global warming ever again. You will never find it because that concept has been debunked. They fear-mongered us into thinking that the earth is going to get too hot and we're not going to, the polar ice cap is going to melt and it's going to flood to California and Florida and all this stuff. And then we realized that it didn't happen nowhere near what they were saying. I think in some cases we have even more polar ice caps, or at least that it's not degrading at the rate at which they expected it to. It's even slower than they expected it to melt, or whatever the case may be. And then you go on and you say, in some places, it's even colder than it's ever been. Oh, shoot. Now we can't stop the grift completely. We got to come up with a new term. Oh, climate change. That means if it's colder than it's supposed to be, or it's warmer than it's supposed to be, then therefore they're right on both ends.
Abide by anymore. Now, as far as the red tape, I see that they're all, Newsom, Bass, they're all saying, we're going to cut red tape, as if they're doing us a favor. My question is, well, if you can do it now, why don't you always do it? Obviously, it can be done. It's not a favor to us to cut the red tape. Why do we live in this state, in this red tape nightmare, the other times of the year when we're not on fire?
Now, generally speaking, I like what he had to say. I think he's holding the left accountable. I don't think a conservative would ever become conservative with Bill Maher. I think these leftist lunatics that loved him and endured him through his leftist mania is now he's coming a little bit closer to the center. They're now starting to realize, oh, shoot, we were crazy too. Let us move closer to the center. So that's, in my opinion, his benefit of being involved in any political conversation.